And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate plans, business, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, but we want to make sure that we help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Now, that's our consumer advocate hotline. Make sure you save that number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372. And we want to help you win no matter what you're facing. Avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent in our communities. And it's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Back in studio, my man, William Crowley, the credit magician. Welcome back.
What's up, baby?
Yeah. How you doing, sir?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
That intro is kind of like some club music, right?
I love it.
I saw you over there.
I love it.
Yeah. The credit man in the house. So he's going to talk about some credit today?
Yeah, let's talk about the legitimate competition out there in the credit industry, okay? Because a lot of people out there professing that they do credit repair and credit restoration. Are they doing it the legitimate way? That's what I want to talk about today.
Too legit to quit.
That's right, baby.
All right, let's do it.
MC Hammer.
Yeah. Michael Morabito back in studio as well. Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be back. We have some new staging photos, and I am now in the client seat with a kitchen renovation. So I want to talk about that a little bit, too.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. Got a kitchen reno going on. And
My own.
Your own home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's there's some challenges there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about that today here. We got Patrick also in studio. Welcome back.
Hey, Brandon, happy to be here. I want to know how I can get a nickname like the Magic Man down here, like William.
Yeah,
I want to get in on that game.
We got to come up with something for you, man. Let's come up with something like that. We got the credit magician.
Yeah.
We got the Snoop Dogg, Jay Smith, the Snoop Dogg in the house.
Man, I got to get on the nickname.
Yeah.
Nickname game.
It's
But today we want to talk
for you.
about PEOs and the power of leveraging a PEO in your business, especially when we have a market correction, and how that can impact your business in a positive way.
Yeah.
So as the economy shifts and changes, what we can do or how a PEO can help you from a predictable cash flow aspect with your business.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great idea. I was just reading the book Market Shift by Gary Keller, Market Shift, and he's talking about exactly that. He's saying when you're in a market shift, you've got to look at scaling down your expenses,
Right.
being on the front end of the market.
Be proactive. We've all seen it. Most
Yeah.
of us, 10 years ago, I remember it like it was yesterday what we all went through.
Yeah.
We went through a lot of that together. So
That's right.
being prepared.
That's right. So we're going to help you win as a consumer advocate here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. That is our number one goal. Give a shout out to our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. It's Bilmar Beach Resort over on Treasure Island, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. The Bilmar Beach Resort is over Treasure Island, filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. If you're planning a business trip, a wedding, just a local family staycation, one of the best places in all of Tampa Bay is the Bilmar Beach Resort in Treasure Island. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives. They got Sloppy Joe's on the beach, the restaurant. They've got 2 pools and just a beautiful, beautiful beach, Long Beach, that is.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
And we got a $3.5 million listing now. Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Big announcement we made over just a couple weeks back. 207 Coronado Drive over on Clearwater Beach. This is a hot real estate development opportunity right across the street from the Wyndham Grand. You see the beautiful towers there. If you're watching our TV show, you see the Wyndham Grand right on the Clearwater Beach. And that's our spot right across the street. It's a lot that's able to be developed. You can go up about 8 to 10 stories tall there. And it's the number one beach in the world is 207 Coronado Drive, Clearwater Beach. operating currently as a small convenience store, and you got some apartments there. Mostly land value, obviously, at this beautiful property in Clearwater Beach. 7424 4th Street North in St. Pete. This is a great opportunity as well. Another commercial property that we've got listed. 7424 4th Street North. It's a gas station corner lot. Great opportunity, listed at $795, just reduced. Now the owner is very motivated at this property as well. Great property, great opportunities. Check out PlatinumMVPRealty.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, let's jump right into it. By the way, we got our buyer-seller seminar coming up. William Crowley is going to be a speaker at this event. Learn from a panel of experts all you need to know about credit, mortgage, title, inspections, real estate, and much more over at Cox Media Group. This is over on 4th Street North in Cox in St. Petersburg. It's 1025 The Bone Studio. So if you ever wonder what those studios look like, we'll give you a radio station tour. That's where Mike Calta does his show, Drew, and some of the other shows over there. But learn from a panel of experts about credit. So, William, you're going to be there. And you're going to be educating. This is on February 28th, by the way. Save the date, February 28th, 6 to 8 p.m. RSVP on eventbrite.com. There's also a Facebook page out there as well. What do you think you might be talking about there, bud?
You know, I'm always on the rampage. I want to go after the credit reported companies. I love to go after the competition. But nevertheless, bottom line is that we want to make sure that the consumers well versed on their rights as it pertains to the credit industry. First of all, first and foremost is to be proactive, take responsibility for your actions, because I'm cleaning up people's credit that does in fact belong to them. We know you. We know you're a deadbeat. Okay, we want to come on now. We want to help you to overturn those conditions.
That deserves one of these.
Come on, man.
So we want to help them to realize, listen, you are a deadbeat, but we want to change those circumstances legally. So we're going to be removing information that you did in fact do. I know people hate to hear that, but you did do it.
Your past does not equal your future, though.
Right. But we want to erase the past and want to do it legally.
Right.
Okay. And there's laws out there, unbeknownst to most people, there's laws out there that help people to overcome those circumstances, called the Fair Credit Reporting Act, created in 1970. None of you all probably were around then.
No. 7
I was
years
9
later,
years old
I came
then.
around.
But the Fair Credit Reporting Act helps clients to overcome those glitches that they've had in the past on their credit report legally.
Okay.
So what we've tried to do over the last 20 years is to make it transparent, make people think, well, look, nothing miraculous is happening here. What's going on is that the credit reporting agencies, they have laws that they have to follow before putting information on your credit report. Okay, it's not that this stuff is just disappearing overnight for some miraculous reason. You did do it, but there's laws that said that the credit reporting agency must follow these steps. Since they don't follow those steps, that's grounds for it to be taken off. A lot of credit repair companies out there try to make it seem like they're doing something, outside of the realms of the law or et cetera. And they get too creative. And I just tell people, just use the Fair Credit Reporting Act, explain that to the clients, okay? They've got things like the CPN numbers. They've got, one credit repair company says, well, we have an inside person at the credit reporting agency that is deleting the information off.
Come on.
I said, look, I'm on the radio. I'm dealing with legitimate people. I can't be, promoting your program. Okay, if you got an inside man at the credit reporting agency, that's a gross violation of federal laws. Okay, anybody's working at the credit reporting agency cannot go in there and take things off a person's credit report just arbitrarily. They have to follow the law. So when people tell me that, I say, okay, let's make sure that we're doing this right. Okay, that's why our credit restoration, credit repair is transparent. We teach everybody everything that we're doing, and we send it to you so that you can see what's going on.
Now, let me ask you, too, because
I've
heard someone say that 99.9% of credit reports in the United States have at least one blemish. They have some type of an error, to be specific.
And just say 100%. Might as well just say 100%, okay? Because
something's going to be wrong no matter what.
Right. All the information. Okay, for instance, anybody listening today or this evening or this morning, the bottom line is ask yourself, have you been contacted by the credit reporting agency on anything that was put on your credit report, good or bad? You have to be contacted. They cannot just put this information on there. They don't know if it's true or not. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act demands, okay, yes, you've received the information from the lender. Now we need to verify this with the client before you put it on the credit report.
It's called a validation of debt, correct?
Well, that's not a validation, specifically a validation of debt. That's for collectors. Okay. But you're still validating something. The credit reporting agency must validate the information that they're putting on your credit report.
Okay.
So it's it's real interesting.
Yeah. So the credit magician. Now, let's talk about it. Credit and what the impact of a negative credit score or a lower credit score. Your real estate, your insurances, your medical, even in some cases. I mean, credit cards. Everything's impacted by your credit.
Everything. And that's why I try to tell people, even before they come see a realtor or mortgage broker, you should come see a legitimate credit repair person first. Let's get this stuff straightened out before the lender sees that you're a real deadbeat.
Come on, man.
No, but not
Not
so
my
much
listeners.
Just
not my
because
listeners.
just because you have bad credit doesn't mean you're a bad person. People,
Right.
there's always glitches, and the credit reporting agencies are just as much to blame as the consumer.
Right.
Okay, and so we go after the credit reporting agency on behalf of the consumer and say, look here. Here's what's going on. So these negative marks, whether it's a late payment, an inquiry, because we go after inquiries as well, where most credit repair companies will not go after inquiries. Even though, like I said, the client did it. Bankruptcies, repossessions, tax lien judgments, collections, it doesn't matter. We're going after it for violation of due process. So these negative items can have a huge impact on the credit score. I mean, one late payment on a high ticket item, for instance, a car or a home, you could lose up to 100 to 150 points on just one late payment, 130-day late. Wow. So we have to be real careful and cognizant of what's going on in the credit report. And what came about in 2006 was people was able to check their credit reports free online.
Yeah.
Now, the scores may not be accurate, but the content is accurate, okay? So that negative information on your credit report, look at it ahead of time, free of charge, and be proactive. How much time do I got?
That's the way to do it. Yeah. Well, when we come back, I want to give out your credit package. We're going to do a credit package from William Crowley, that text offer. Every time we do it, our phones blow up. So it's going to teach you how to opt out of pre-screening, cut off the junk mail. Really cool credit package offer coming up after this short break. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show and owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. Got a great buyer agent team as well. We've got a great team of buyer agents that can help you source your property, your next property. And check out PlatinumMVPRealty.com, PlatinumMVPRealty.com. And giving a shout out to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Brothers Easy Moving. They work to be Tampa Bay's very best moving company by exceeding your expectations from the first phone call to the final customer courtesy call. And they are among the Tampa Bay's best reviewed Tampa movers, and that is Google, where they hold a 4.6 rating, the highest in the Tampa Bay area, an A rating from the Better Business Bureau, an A rating on Angie's List, and also a 4.5% rating on Yelp. And they've also won the Super Service Award multiple years in a row. Tell Gary that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Give him a call. Talk to Gary, the owner of Brothers Easy Moving. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take him up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you are a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we're back here in studio. We're going to help you win. We got William Crowley in the house, Michael Morabito coming up, Patrick Moraites as well. And I want to go back to William. Let's get that credit package in there. So tell them what they're going to get when they get the credit package, and I'll tee it up. Okay, well, we're going to couple of different things. The first thing is we're going to show you how to do the promotional block, and which is a valuable tool that most people don't know about, but everybody should have a promotional block on their credit report. We're going to do brochures of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, Fair Credit Reporting Act, and even the Uniform Commercial Code, Federal Trade Commission. It's going to be a lot of boring reading, but it's definitely valuable reading. Okay, boring but valuable reading with the pamphlets that we're going to give you, and then you're going to get a free consultation. And I normally charge between about $150 to $200 an hour. Yeah, he does. He does. How many you want to give out? You're going to get that. How many should we give out? What do you think? You want to do 5 this time? We did 3 last week. Okay, we'll do 5 of them. Yeah. All right, and now that promotional block.
You can only do 4. I'll just take 1.
Okay, we're down to 4. We're down to 4. Okay, that promotional block now is that kind of like the block that Rams defensive back did on that Saints wide receiver? Because that was a bad. Hey, don't go there, man. No, that was a bad one, wasn't it? We got to call an audible here. It cost him the Super Bowl, that's for sure. It really did. It was bad. We're talking about a promotional block, cut off the junk mail going to your mailbox. Yeah. We're talking about a better life that you can live by having better credit scores. Your free, how to actually obtain a free annual credit report, and it's not those guys jumping around on TV commercials asking for your credit card. We're going to teach you all that through William Crowley, the Credit Magician's free credit package. Text the word credit now to 813-670-7372. Just text the word credit. The first 5 listeners, we're going to hook you up with a free credit package for compliments of William Crowley. Text credit to 813-670-7372, and then we're going to get you in touch with William Crowley. More from William coming up in the lightning round, and we're going to switch gears. We're going to switch gears now. We're going to talk about interior design. Michael Morabito back in studio. Welcome back.
Yeah. I am taking on 2 roles this month. I am the interior designer and the client for myself.
Nice. Okay.
I'm in the midst of my kitchen renovation, and that has to be by far the worst renovation to live through.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
It definitely raises your eating out bill, that's for sure.
You're making coffee in the bathroom or whatever, right? You got
my coffee maker is on my dining table at this moment.
There you go.
And my stove is in my living room. It's very fun.
Yeah, so it's a challenging renovation, but just think about the end in mind, right? You're going to have beautiful kitchen, increase the value of your home.
Yeah, and I'm just telling myself what I tell my clients.
There you go.
I'm very, very excited. So it's a galley kitchen at the moment. It's a condo.
Yep.
So we're knocking down the wall, and always like what I talk about with just open concept, really open it up.
Very cool. So how long does a typical kitchen renovation take?
For a house with a decent sized kitchen, anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks if you really have a good contractor that's on his game.
Yeah.
Which
That shows
that is
up.
a huge struggle. Yes.
That's
I've
coming
had
from
my
me.
fair
That's from
share
my
of
side.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to be there to do the work.
Sorry,
right?
that's a little bit, from me, from our build, our new build. But,
Yeah.
But anyways, that's.
Well, recently I joined Construction Partners of Tampa Bay because I was coming into those issues where I was hiring people and I just couldn't. I don't have time to follow up to make sure they show up when they're supposed to be.
Right.
So I was just getting so fed up with it. So I joined Construction Partners, and they have exclusivity to each trade.
Nice.
And I've just been using those guys, and it's been awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So-
awesome. So you got the reno going on. What are some of the challenges that you're facing now in your business?
So one that I'm going through with myself
Uh-oh.
is indecisiveness.
Okay.
Which is funny because I'm basically a professional decision maker for my clients.
Right.
So now that it's myself, I've actually consulted with some of my interior design friends, and I'm like, all right, what do you guys think? Is just to
Yeah.
throw it out there.
Perspectives. Yeah.
But I've been so lucky with the clientele that I've had. They've been really awesome and just trusting of me. Every once in a while, I get a client that just has a really hard time making those commitments and decisions.
Yep.
So that's a little bit of a challenge that I face. But other than that, I mean, those are very few and far in between.
Yeah, so we're talking with Michael Morabito here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And of course, we're talking real estate. We're talking interior design. And, when you look at the ability to, buy real estate properties, if you're going to do a remodel, that's fine. But in the midst of an interior design change, you're taking some of these older properties and you're giving them a new twist. Sometimes you don't have to go through all of the renovations. You can just go in and simply work with the furniture that's existing for the client and bring in maybe some different types of throws we talked about in the past.
Yeah, just little spruce ups. But if the person that's doing the renovation has the time on their hand to not go through necessarily a contractor who's just going to be subcontracting,
Right.
the amount of money that you can save just by getting everyone individually on your own is tremendous. I would say almost half.
So like a general contract, you're talking about with a general contractor subbing out the subs, you're saying do it on your own.
Yeah. So if you need, a painter and a drywall guy and an electrician, a plumber, I mean, it takes time, but it's, how much is the time worth? That's something that I can do if they hire me as the interior designer.
Nice.
Account for my hours, but what I could save you.
Yeah, because you're in control at that point. You're in control of the project. Someone doesn't show up, you go to the next.
And I have all those guys on one team now.
Yeah, that's great. So that's a really cool group that you joined. So you have home remodeling expert, all types of different people in that group.
Yeah.
General contractors.
There's everything to the construction trades. There's one person for every trade in that. And they've all been unbelievably reliable and showing up when they say they're going to show up, and they're quick. Like I was saying before,
That's
I've
great.
had jobs that I've just have drawn out, and I'm like, come on, guys, don't you want to get to the next one and make some more money?
Yeah. What we found too, like with our build and just kind of asking around, talking to different contractors, is that these subs are so in demand. I'm talking about your tiler, your painter, your hanging drywall crew, your framers, all these different pieces of the puzzle, even electricians, that they're so in demand. You have other GCs or other people coming in and saying, hey, I'll give you $500 cash today to come and start my or finish my project or whatever.
Yeah.
That's how in demand these jobs are.
Well, and like I always talk about, people want it and they want it now.
Yeah.
And they don't want to wait all this time. So if they can maybe spend a little extra money to get someone in quicker and
Yeah, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
That's a challenge. So it's a competitive market you're looking at when it comes to those types of people to get the job done. So that's a challenge we've talked about with different companies on the show. Our solar contributor, our different folks that we've had. Fred Muth with Tampa Screens. They talked about the quality of the hard opportunities that they had is trying to find quality people to come in and help.
well, and that's the thing. You want it done fast, but you want it done right as well.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So Michael Morabito, interior design specialist, Coco Design Group. What's the website again?
www.cocodesigngroup.com.
CocoDesignGroup.com.
Easy enough.
Yeah. And I know you've been working with Lindsay on some things, like Lindsay's in the feng shui side. How do you guys play ball together there?
We are trying to partner up. Once we get that specific client that really wants the both of us, I would love to partner up with her on it. I think it'd be very cool.
Yeah, she's excited. She's had a couple of several clients lately that, have had repeat business and, doing the different house, I guess, like the energy cleanings and things like that she's doing. So
yeah, there's definitely an opportunity for her to bring me in and for me to bring her in. I think the two can go hand in hand for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Neat. Even on our own home, it's like we were designing the driveway and the sidewalk, and she said there's you can't walk directly into the home because that's bringing in the southern energy into the home, which is not what you want. You want the northern prosperity comes from the northern.
And that's when I call Lindsay.
Yeah,
and when clients start talking about that stuff,
That's
I'm
right.
like, 1 second.
And I thought that was interesting because the way that we designed the drive is like you walk in like that, from the side angle, so just because your property lot is sitting a certain way, you think, oh, well, this is not a good lot. No, you can design the sidewalks and the entries accordingly.
Yeah, and I feel like that stuff just happens sometimes. Like I create a design like that, and then maybe Lindsay's like, "Oh, this does this," and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
That's great."
Like moving the desk, right?
Yes.
I think she moved her desk. I think you might have mentioned you moved yours at one point or something.
The second she told me that it wasn't the direction of money,
the prosperity money.
I turned it real quick.
That's right. Hey, I got my desk pointing that way too. We'll turn them. So, stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from our expert contributors here in studio. We have a feel-good story of the day. This community is offering free food to workers affected by government shutdown. Stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Shamans, we understand cause we the tech shaman. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome, yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Cool.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show and a top real estate agent here in the Tampa Bay market, top 1% realtor in the United States, and real excited about a lot of our growth. The move over to Keller Williams, the #1 real estate company in the world. And a lot of good things happening in the real estate market. In studio today, we've got our expert contributor panel, William Crowley in the house, Michael Morabito, Patrick Moraites as well. And we are here in studio helping you win. That is our goal of our show. A couple of hot listings here. 9511 Antilles Drive over in Seminole. This is a hot property, Pinellas Groves, Pinellas County, 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath. You also have a half bath. And this is a David Weekley home on about a half an acre of land, mature landscaping, 2,820 square feet, listed at $585,000, just reduced down to $585,000. Hot real estate property here in Tampa Bay. 5506 Dallas Way in Valrico, another hot property. River Hills Country Club, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, corner lot. This is a one-owner home. That is sure to impress. The owner is the builder. He's a commercial builder, $545,000. This is a great opportunity to own in Hillsborough County, 3,500 square feet, hot real estate property, listing compliments of PlatinumMVPRealty.com.
Shining. I'm sorry.
All right, so we got Michael Morabito here in studio. We're talking about staging, interior design, home staging, where we had some home staging photos, rather. So if you're watching our TV show version on WeBeam TV, soon we're taking this show to Apple TV, Amazon TV, Roku as well. That's coming up. Some really cool things that we're working on behind the scenes. But I thought we would display some of those beautiful pictures.
Yeah, I just got them professionally shot. This was a listing on Snell Isle. So one thing that really sets our staging company apart from the rest, I would say, is that we do have my business partner's an interior designer as well. So when we stage a home, we design it as if we were designing for our interior design clients.
Nice.
So we use all of our high-end vendors, and we really make it to where you walk in and you just feel like you could live there. And if it happens to where the client buying the home would want to live there, that would be great. And then they can buy all the furniture already designed.
Nice. Okay. That's really
That's
cool.
what I was about to ask.
Yeah. I like that table too. That's a neat table. Both of them, actually. Cool. So we got the pictures up there. Michael Morabito helping you with interior design work. And give me the website again.
It's still under www.cocodesigngroup.com. So if you
Coco
contact
Design.
me, then I could set up your home staging consultation.
Awesome. Good stuff. So yeah, the real estate market, I think people don't understand either. You know, we're in the middle of that shift. I mentioned the Gary Keller book, Market Shift, that I just read, listened to on Audible. He's talking about the market shifting, and we are in the middle of a shift. The market has slowed down over if you compare the market now to like 8 or 12 months ago, definitely a big difference. We're seeing a lot more expired listings coming up. People, aren't as active on the FSBO market because they realize that they need professional representation to sell these properties.
What about days on the market too? Is that
days on the market? That's another factor, especially for the $500,000 and up. The $500,000 up to $1 million. And fortunately or unfortunately, I've got a lot of those. I've got a lot of those properties, $500,000 to $1 million in that range. And some of those properties are selling. I need more like 180 to 220s. Give me some 250s. Those would be nice. But have you seen that? And staging can definitely help that.
Well, and I've seen it just in the calls. I've gotten way more staging calls recently than I did, several months ago. So I think it's because they're struggling a little bit and maybe need that extra.
That's right.
And the staging goes such a long way because, especially for someone like me, I can't visualize the space without it there. So I would have to think it helps accelerate the sales cycle as far as getting the property sold.
It does.
When you have someone come in and they're like, oh, well, like you said earlier, oh, I could live here.
Yeah, absolutely. Like statistics show, and it's proven. It's definitely, data's out there. The National Association of Realtors, all the different boards are looking at that data, and they're saying, hey, a staged home is going to sell faster for more money. So less days on the market, more profit to the owner.
What would be a curious statistic to know is the cost of staging.
Right.
Days on the market. So if you reduce your time on the market, there's a cost for the staging to happen, but
well, Michael,
if you accelerate your sales cycle,
We're gonna have to work on that.
it's math.
But basically, yeah. So the carrying costs. So especially, here's an example. You've got a $600,000 home.
Right.
The owners live on the other side of the state or out of state, and they're carrying that property. So it's a $2,500 monthly payment. They've got taxes and insurance thrown in the mix. The carrying costs, the pool, the lawn maintenance.
Right.
So that's a lot of money that they're carrying. So then it's like you get into the opportunity cost also of not staging.
Right.
So that's a good point. All right. So Michael Morabito, check her out online. Of course, all of our expert contributors are at consumerqb.com. Consumerqb.com. You can submit an email form there at the website. You can call us on our hotline. We would love to talk with you and introduce you to any of our expert contributors. 813-670-7372. 813-670-7372. Call or text that line. We offered that credit package earlier as well that William Crowley offers. All right, so we got Patrick Moraites here in studio now. We're going to switch gears. We're talking about professional employer organizations, and one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, how do you determine which PEO is right for a company?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. PEOs in general, just to kind of give a brief synopsis, I mean, they leverage economies of scale, right? So you're bundling your payroll, your HR, your workers' comp, sometimes the benefits in your 401k. So you're aggregating all of these services to one particular vendor to help manage that for your business. So determining the right PEO, there's 943 PEOs in the country.
943.
We work with approximately 100 of them, and there's a lot of different factors that play into us determining which vendor or which PEO to recommend to a particular business. Everything from location, so that's extremely important. If the business is domiciled, in Florida and they want to work with a Florida-based PEO, the type of service that someone likes. So some people they need to talk to someone right now. So maybe a pooled customer service environment is better, but other people want to have a relationship. They call up Platinum MVP, they want to talk to Brandon, right? They want to work with you. So there are different service models where there's a single point of contact. So those are some of the different things that we assess in addition to cost, into determining and narrowing our platform of 100 PEOs down to the best in class 2, 3 to recommend or to a particular business owner client.
All right, so we talk about a lot. We want to prognosticate here a little bit and pull out the crystal ball. But if the economy takes a little bit of a step back, a small correction, hopefully not a full recession. But what do you think will happen to the PEOs and their customers?
So I think in a correction, there's going to be significant opportunity for our industry. We'll see significant growth. The buzzword in any business is cash flow, right? So managing your cash flow is going to be extremely important in a market correction. Well, leveraging a PEO, you can stabilize your cash flow. And the reason being is it becomes totally predictable. So you get out of the business of making deposits on insurance premiums, because everything is on a pay by pay basis, a pay cycle, or our industry, we call it pay as you go basis. So everything becomes predictable. So as you grow and add employees, you know how much your cost is going to be, and if you remove employees, you know what your saving is going to be. So in a economic downturn, we actually see a lot of companies look to consolidate vendor relationships, because, as I stated a little bit earlier, when you're talking about payroll vendor, maybe a workers' comp carrier, health insurance carrier, 401k person, outsourced HR, you're managing 5, 6 relationships. Now you can consolidate all that into one and focus in on growing your business,
right,
or sustaining your business and waiting for the economy to come back or make a shift.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. We're talking with Patrick Moraites here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And yeah, it's all about that long-term planning and being ahead of the curve, kind of ahead of the shift. And specifically to PEOs, it allows you as the business owner, or maybe you're a manager within a business, it allows you to focus on your core competencies, what you're best at,
right,
and then kind of outsource the rest.
Exactly. I mean, people don't go into business to, manage payroll. And oddly enough, when we got into this industry, it was kind of by accident, and it was with my business partner as we were brainstorming what we're going to do. We had these big aspirations of building a company, and we're like, well, what are we going to do for payroll? How are we going to handle that? And then we ended up falling into this industry. We're like, wow, there's a need there.
Yeah.
Because how do people manage that, and how do they service that?
Right.
And that's how we kind of fell into it.
Yeah, it's important. And, you look at the economies of scale that's produced, the business, environment, the changing rules. And I mean, we just had one of our attorneys on. That's why I love the show as well. When we bring on our attorneys, Richard Alexander, he brought in lots of different rule changes and laws that have, either sunset, went away, or just changed.
Right.
I mean, I was just blown away by, wow, he just went one after the other of all these laws that have changed. As a business owner, when are you going to research all
right.
that?
And a PEO shares that risk and liability with you as a business owner, which is, in a recession or an economic downturn, there are going to be companies that thrive or businesses that thrive, grow, and expand while others recess, like we saw it last year, or not, excuse me, last year, but last recession with construction. So, we can't predict what's going to be the cause of the next bubble, but there are going to be industries that grow. And if they do grow and expand into other states or other markets, PEO can help with that. Why deal with getting licensed in another state?
That's right. Yeah. Great example is where, you're on the mortgage broker side, you're a real estate agent, you're a title company, an appraiser, you're kicking butt. And then all of a sudden the market turns. Now where does it go? It goes to REO. So this is real estate owned on the books of the bank. So what did we do? What a lot of my friends did? We jumped on the property preservation side. We would maintain those properties, those bank owned properties, or even as an REO broker, you sign up with those banks. You do the BPOs, you do the cleanup work. Yeah. So you look at, one of the books I remember is Who Moved My Cheese? Where did the money go? Right. So stay with us right here. Consumer Quarterback Show. More from our expert contributors and our feel good story of the day coming at you. It's a good one. We got the Sikh community offers free food to workers affected by government shutdown. Find out about that and more from our expert contributors and our lightning round after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
House or
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Brandon Rhymes here, back on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Welcome back. And thanks for listening to our show. We really appreciate you tuning in. You know, we want you to think about our show as the hub of your financial, your business, your real estate, your health wheel, you know, all these wheels, these spokes extending out, representing another one of our preferred partners, our expert contributors that we built up over the years, 6 years on air now, and we're helping you win in any marketplace. Everything from credit improvement, as we talked about here, staging, home interior design. We've got different types of attorneys coming on the show, educating, entertaining, and giving you these timely advice, these timely truths centered around all these different areas. So that's how we want to help you. ConsumerQB.com. That's your number one resource, is ConsumerQB.com. And let's jump right into our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
Seek Community offers free food to workers affected by government shutdown. The Seek Community in San Antonio is offering free meals for all government employees during the shutdown. As part of the Sikh religion, one of their duties is to look out and protect the downtrodden. We are here to support those federal employees who are not getting their paycheck, and we really appreciate their services. And we believe our nation should appreciate and give gratitude to those men and women who are doing wonderful service for us but are not getting paid to do so, said Dylan, is the president of the Sikh Center of San Antonio. All the food is made fresh by volunteers from the community. They come in early in the morning, 4 o'clock, sometimes 5 o'clock, to start preparing, Dylan said. And while no one in their community is directly affected by the shutdown, he said, we don't worry about one community. We all belong to one race, which is the human race. We think all brothers and sisters, we need to support each other no matter what we are, who we are. We may have different color, different class or religion or social or economic status, but at the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters. Awesome story. Good stuff. That's a cool group over there in San Antonio.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into a couple of hot properties here. 206 Mariner is a hot property that we've got in Tarpon Springs. 206 Mariner Drive in Tarpon Springs. This is a number 206. It's a great property. We have 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Mariner Village. You got a great community here, close to the water. A great opportunity. There's pool as well on site, and this unit is a corner unit, furnished as well. It's offered furnished for the right price. Conservation views, 206 Mariner Drive, Tarpon Springs, hot real estate property. Also, 1370 Gulf Boulevard, right on the beach. This is $1 million listing of mine, right on the beach in Clearwater. It's the Bella Rosa condo, Sand Key. You got tennis courts, you've got the beaches, pool, spa. Just a great building. The property is in mint condition. Just a beautiful property listing. Compliments of Platinum MVP Realty.com. All right, let's jump right into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
We supposed to be fast.
Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Ladies first, Michael Morabito.
Oh, thank
Big
you.
Mike.
I would say, a lot of people think interior designers can be expensive. We are, but we can also save you a ton of money to where it might even equal it out. So the other day, we did a whole house of furniture, and just from local vendors where we get extended a trade discount, I saved them about $1,500 to $2,000 on furniture.
Nice.
Which close covered my costs.
That's great.
The cost of me, at least. So pick up the phone, call, just see if it's something that we could work out. And same for staging. Can definitely increase the value and hopefully take some days off the market.
Absolutely. It surely does. That's a proven fact. There's statistics that show that. All right. Let's go to Patrick Moraites.
All right. With there being 943 different PEOs across the country, narrowing down the one that's the right fit, it can be a challenge. So, you got to know which questions to ask. You got to make sure that that they have a risk appetite for your particular industry. Some focusing on white collar, others focusing on, blue collar. So narrowing that down is extremely important. So recommend, if you don't work with us, work with somebody that has some industry experience to arm you with the right questions to ask.
Yeah.
So you can really hone in on what's important. So you don't end up wasting your time, because you may go through this long, arduous process of underwriting and collecting all this data only to not get approved, because that can happen.
Yeah, that's important steps there. William Crowley, the credit magician.
Yeah, and there's just so many credit repair companies out there. There's what do you call it, PEOs, and the staging companies or whatever.
Yeah.
So the credit repair companies are the same way. If you're going to judge a credit repair company, just make sure that they're using the Fair Credit Reporting Act, not coming up with all these gimmicks, what I call side gimmicks of CPN numbers, inside person working at the credit reporting agency, authorized user. I'm not discrediting some of those, but nevertheless, the first and foremost is understanding the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You can do your own credit repair by just familiarizing yourself with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, created by Congress in 1970. It's there for the consumers to protect us against the abuses, self-abuse, of course, and then the abuses of the credit reporting agencies.
Yeah, in many cases, there are sometimes there's stuff that shows up on your credit report that wasn't your fault. That happens too. And it's one of those situations where a lot of people, especially buyers, get all these buyer calls from whether it's an advertisement we're running or some type of a sign call from a real estate property. But when they call in, I'm just so surprised at the amount of people that when you mention the word pre-approval or getting your credit, are you ready to purchase? You kind of go through that mental checklist with them. They just have this arrogance about them, like oh, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Because the credit, there's a lot of credit reports that are getting hit today with falsified
information. Right, and so even the falsified information, I tell people, look, I'm going after information that does in fact belong to you. If it is falsified, you can file a police report and have the information removed instantaneously. But nevertheless, even with the information that does belong to you, and that's where 90% of the clients that come to you, the information does in fact belong to them. That's what they're really concerned about, because if it's a glitch, then that can be taken care of overnight if it's not yours. But if it is yours, that's where the biggest problems lie. And I tell people there's a way to get out of that legally using the Fair Credit Reporting Act.
Right.
So nothing unethical about it.
That's right. Come and hear William Crowley speak at our Buyer Seller Seminar coming up on February 28th, 6 to 8 p.m. over at Cox Media Group, 4th Street North, St. Pete. We got a Buyer Seller Seminar coming up, a panel of experts, everything you need to know about credit, mortgage, title, inspections, of course, real estate. We got Aaron Foley, buyer specialist with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. We got the Snoop Dogg going to be there as well. Snoop Inspections, Jay Smith, a Snoop
Big Mike might be there.
Yeah,
that might be false advertising if people show up for Snoop Dogg and he's not there.
Yeah, right. A Snoop Inspection. That's Jay Smith right there. Now he's Tampa Bay Snoop Dogg. That's Tampa Bay.
Snoop Loop.
I was going to ask you, how's your Alexa skill going?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so we appreciate you bringing that back up. We talked about that at the last show. So getting good statistics. What we did to push it out is we've been sending out the Alexas as a gift and getting people to use them with a letter telling them how to download the HR Shield Alexa skill. And that way you can ask it any HR related question and it learns as it goes. So any question that's not programmed, we get notified. So we just did an update yesterday. And so all the errors that came across for questions that were not in the skill are now there.
Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. So the idea, your hope is that while you're mailing these out, it's going to somehow catch what's the word? Not
just
SEO,
market share.
Kind of like
Well, yeah. So we're trying to gain market share because, and so it's on Alexa right now, and then next week we'll be on Google Assistant. So we're just kind of tackling them one at a time.
Google Home, is it the same thing?
Yeah,
Google
same thing. So you'll be able to. There's 90 million people that have one or both devices currently in their home.
Yeah.
At some point, it's going to mature to where you have it in your place of business, to where we use it more than just playing music.
I like that.
You will start leveraging it for more business applications.
Yeah, the Alexas, the Google, the Amazons, the Roku, those places, of course, Netflix, but those are very, there's so many users already on those platforms. That's one thing we're doing with the Quarterback Show. I'm in the final negotiations right now to take our stream, the WeBeam TV stream here, onto those platforms. The Amazon, the Google, it
gets it more accessible to more people.
That's right.
People are comfortable with certain platforms.
Right.
So get them on it.
That's right. All right. Good stuff. Thanks so much for everyone coming in. Michael Morabito, Patrick Moraites, William Crowley, the credit magician, coming into the show.
Credit man in the hood.
Credit man. He's the credit magician in the studio, but
Credit man in the hood,
He's
baby.
a credit man in the hood. That's right. So he's going to help you out, help you improve your credit, help you live a better life.
I'm coming up with a nickname.
Yeah, we got a nickname.
I'm
We need
coming
one.
up with a nickname.
We got to have one. All right, we'll do that. So, all right, thanks so much for listening to the show. Please check out our website. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. Consumer Quarterback Show pages on Facebook. And please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, hand it to that person that you see in need, be a force for good in the community, and do something kind for one another. And continue to tune into our show right here, 5 o'clock drive time, 1380 The Biz, weekends on FM 102.5 The Bone, and daily 10 a.m. on WeBeam TV. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 102.5 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the Consumer Quarterback.